All right, there we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Loud
you.
and clear.
I'm just gonna plug in my charger in case this thing dies. How's everybody doing? Good?
Good, man. How's it going, Leo?
Yes, pretty sir. Good.
Doing great.
Awesome. So I think we're doing it right. We do the interview with Anders first, and then we'll go over the leaderboard. Any updates? We got some big numbers on the board this week. They're like video game numbers at this point. So uh yeah, it's recording. Yeah, so Anders is brand. I wanted to introduce Anders. He's brand new to the life insurance industry. He's been in sales before, coming from solar background, never worked leads. I'll kind of just introduce him and ask him a couple questions, and he can tell you guys how he basically. I think he actually wrote now 15,000 in the last 4 weeks if you include the couple deals he wrote late last night. So Anders, what's your background and what basically made you want to get into life insurance? What attracted you to this industry?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I got my degree in healthcare administration, in business, and I worked in administration for a while, like a nursing home, and did that for a couple of years, and then COVID happened, and they eliminated my position. So the only thing I could, really do is sales. So I started selling CBD, and then I got into solar, and that's the industry that kind of changed my life. I worked for a company for a year, and then I started my own. So, the first year we did 10 million in revenue, and the second 15, and then in Arizona, they kind of made some changes to permitting, so it honestly just takes forever, and the interest rates went up. So I looked into other industries, and when I was in administration, I processed Medicare, stuff like that, and then I got introduced to Leo because I was looking at getting an IUL, and I actually got screwed over the first time I sat down. He kind of explained everything to me, and he pretty much just said, why don't you, join my team and start selling insurance? I'm like, why not? So I shadowed him probably 3 or 4 times, and
Yeah, how was that? Because I feel like sometimes a lot of newer agents or new people are kind of just scared to go out there, scared to reach out for help. Um, either they're shy or they might think they're too good for that. And you already knew, like I knew you could sell. You can sell like you're a business person, ran businesses before. How was that like going out to the training and then going out to basically your first appointment by yourself, like your first field day by yourself, especially compared to now?
yeah. So with solar, I built a pretty good pipeline, but I never really bought leads or anything. I knocked on doors. It was pretty brutal. So when I was shadowing Leo, he said, we're gonna go door knocking. And I'm like, door knocking for insurance? It's kind of weird. But his term of door knocking is, going to leads, the houses of leads, and then knocking on their door, and you have their name and everything. So, I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. I'm used to knocking on random people's door, getting,
Right. Yep.
guns pulled on me, stuff like that against Arizona.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I remember Anders in the beginning. He's like, you're just knocking on random doors. I'm like, why would I ever do that when I could just get leads? Like these people requested it, they want
yeah,
it. Now it's not every single time it's going to go perfect, but they filled this out. you know,
They
yeah, and I think one of these, no,
having
go
that
ahead.
Well, we have their names, so it kind of just breaks the ice. It's not like not
Right.
the person's door. So after I saw that, this is awesome. So, you know, Leo kind of sold me, and then I started. Took a couple weeks because I kind of I'm still a little bit in solar, but I'm kind of phasing out. But I started Facebook ads with Leo, worked out pretty well, went pretty well, and I think my first lead was actually a set appointment through Facebook, and I sold it. So yeah, it's just going pretty well.
Yeah, and what's kind of like your, I guess your day to day or your mindset? Because I know even I do this, and I've been doing this for a long time. If you go out and you have a bad day, it's very easy to not want to go back out again. Do you have like a preset schedule, or are you calling the leads? Are you
Yeah.
trying to set appointments, or are you just showing up?
So I always call it in solar industry, it's called the solar coaster, where it just goes up and down. So sales is just a numbers game. So you just gotta, call people, knock on doors, and get someone to answer. So what I do is I usually get 5, 6 leads a day from Facebook. I wait a day, I call them, usually in the morning. They don't answer. I usually try to set appointments while calling them, and if they don't answer, I go and knock on their door. And it's pretty much straightforward. I learned shouting Leo. I kind of learned the script. It's not that long. The coolest thing I think is going to their house and just showing them your license.
Right.
I'm the state appointed rep signed your file. You had requested some information on burial and cremation insurance, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." And then you kind of sit down with them. Pretty straightforward.
What if they're like, I didn't fill that out, it wasn't me, I'm not interested. What do you say then?
So I don't really with solar you kind of have to fight a lot more because people have a bad taste in their mouth. But with this kind of stuff, I said, well, I have your information, so you requested it. Kind of look back and see what day, because with Facebook ads you can see when they requested it, and I kind of just, do you have anything in place for when you pass? And then they say no, and then sometimes I say I also do Medicare and ACA, and then sometimes that breaks the ice. But I haven't had too much. I don't. It's the way I go and knock on the door. I kind of do it with just confidence.
Yeah.
So say, the license really helps.
Yeah, I remember the first time we went out door knocking, I brought Anders out with me. Like the first couple times he went out, some people said they didn't fill it out, they weren't interested. And then Anders is trying to jump in there and like
Yeah.
fight the fight. And I'm like, dude, like it's not that serious. Like I have so many leads right now that it's not worth my time going back
I'm
and forth
not
with
used to
this
that.
person. Yeah, and like we weren't gonna win. Like they don't remember. We're not gonna convince them that to remember it like at this point. And I have like 50 other doors to hit. Like let's just go move on with our day, and we'll get someone that is just gonna be like, yeah, come on in. We're ready to go. You know. And you said you're getting 5 to 6 leads a day. How much did you spend to, I think right now your issue pay like 10,000 and like probably another four or 5,000
Yeah.
pending. How much did you spend to write that much?
I would
And
say
how
like
many of your leads are you resolving?
so 1,800, and by resolving, do you just mean like knocking on their door?
Yeah, like if like to me a resolved lead, if you got to get a hold of them, right? Door knocking them a couple times and they don't answer, that's not really resolving.
So I think I've about 190 leads so far, and it's a good, you can't, Arizona's, everything's pretty far. So,
Right.
and it's pretty hot, but I usually try to, if I can get a hold of them, I usually try to door knock 8 to 12 doors a day. And I usually, make an appointment or sit with half of them. And I think I've sat with 2 people and I wasn't able to get them signed up because I don't know, they kind of needed a friend and they didn't have too much money.
Right.
I tried everything, but
Yeah. And is there any like specific obstacles you've had to overcome, like either in the home or whatever it is to
Yeah.
basically write that much, and then are you running local or telesales, and then I think you're just running final expense for right now, right?
yeah, and then IUL, but mainly just final expense. It's just straightforward, it's easy, it's fast. And I'll get into Medicare eventually. Would you ask again?
You're running just locally, right? You're
Yeah,
not
just
doing
locally.
any telesales.
I've sold 2 on phones because sometimes I get surrounding states.
Yeah.
It's mainly just local. I think it's a lot more effective if you're in person. And I'm
Right.
really good with people. So, I always say 75% of those people, they stay in touch with me.
Yeah.
Referrals. So it's not rocket science. It just, what I see is a lot of people that struggle in sales is just a lack of action. They don't go out. Be confident, but you just need to go out and do it.
I think Hadley asked if you set in-home appointments. I think Hadley kind of answered that earlier because he's just calling. The lead comes in, he calls the next day. And then if he doesn't get a hold of them, you go on door knock because I don't think you're getting that many appointments a day, right? You only have about anywhere from 1 to 3 appointments a day, right?
Yeah.
So,
And then I would say like 70% of them, the appointments are made by door knocking. I always try to, sit with them. It takes, 5-10 minutes. And I would say like 30%, or now I would say 50% people say, oh, come on in. And then say like 20% are on the phone and then the other are door knocking. Because a lot of people are not good with phones, especially when they're old. So, they when I sit down with them, they're getting phone calls all the time. So they're probably not going to pick up my phone. If I go there, better chance of sitting with them.
right. And once you get them in the home, can we kind of go over like your presentation? Like you can pretend I'm a client. I just said, yeah, hey, come on in. Not a problem. We sit down at the table.
Yeah, I usually compliment them on their house. Even if their house is, even if it's like pretty messy, I just say your house is very clean. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I go in a lot of houses. And then I pretty much just I always try to sit at a table on couches. I don't know, it's too laid back. So if you sit at a table, it's more serious. And then I usually ask for a glass of water, which in solar that always showed the person that doesn't get the glass is usually the decision maker. Because I usually sat with couples with solar, but this is a little different.
Right.
Asking for a glass of water usually people just offer it to me.
Yeah. Now these are just old school, like door to door, cold door
Yeah.
sales tactics and stuff, just to get a glass of water. If they offer you something, say yes, ask to use the
Say yes,
bathroom
yeah.
as soon as you walk in, just to have that control essentially. And you think that definitely works? You think it makes a
Yeah.
difference? Yeah.
And then the license also helps. So I kind of, Leo, let me do this, get a binder. license, and then on the back is some of the carriers. And I pretty much say, so what I'm gonna do here is ask you some medical questions, and then, I have access to the majority of the carriers, so we'll see which one has the best, rate, and we'll get you set up. And I always ask if you have anything in place, and then I always ask if you've been cremated or buried, and then I always say the average cremation is blah, 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 average burial, blah, blah, blah. Are you wanting to leave anything left, to your loved ones, over the cost of the burial? And that kind of explain, so after you pass, that money goes tax-free to the beneficiary, and they usually negotiate with the funeral home. And then I kind of just like go into it, and I just list medical, I use the Safe Haven care sheet, the date of birth, their name. And
Yeah.
then
Do you fill all that out? Do you fill all that out?
I fill most of it. I don't fill it like, I kind of just go through the medical, smoker, yes or no, and then name, age, and then sometimes I ask, occupation, they're mostly retired, and then I usually, what I do is, after getting an idea of how much they're wanting, I ask, I sometimes ask how much they're getting in Social Security, because I don't want to, give them a monthly payment that's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
I give them 3 options to what I learned from Leo. So it's usually, 5,000, 10, 15. Then I show them how much it is monthly. And then most of the time they go with the highest. And then sometimes they say, can I go higher? And they're like, yeah. And then I like, my job's not to, I don't want to, sell you something that you can't afford. I don't say sell, I sign you up for something that you can't afford. I want you to stress about this payment. Is it something that is affordable and something that, won't, keep you up at night? And sometimes they think about it and they're like, maybe I should go a little lower. Because, you don't want a charge back or anything.
Yeah. I think all your deals have been immediate draft too, right?
Yeah, and I haven't had any cancels.
What do you say to them? Because that especially with final expense, that sometimes is a little bit hard to do, to get that immediate draft. Are you just making sure that if it definitely fits in their budget and not
Yeah,
something?
it's the main thing. I kind of learned it in solar, because solar, you fight so hard for a deal, and cancellation rate, you're not going to get paid for 6 months. So if life happens. I've had people sell their house in the middle of the deal and
Right.
come for install, and they're like, oh no, I don't want to do it anymore. And it costs you money. So with that mentality, I don't want to cancel it. So I do everything possible and ask them all the questions, make sure it's affordable, suss them out, and then I would say the biggest difficulty, it's not like too common, but old people sometimes don't have like a checkbook or a banking app. So we've had
Yeah.
to a couple times. They're never hesitant on giving me that information. Like, you just gotta be confident.
Do you think with having that binder with the license, the carriers, because I remember when I didn't have that, I would get a lot of kickback, even in homes with
Yeah,
social banking. As soon as I started doing that, definitely made a big difference for me. And using that financial inventory sheet, that Safe Haven
yeah.
sheet as
And
well.
I always knock on the door, and I always have this facing like this. And I want them to see it. So with solar, you can't even have anything like this. So it's kind of cool. Like you're like the police.
Right. Yep. Let's see, someone here said something. Yeah, if they don't have the money today, great chance in the next 6 months they won't have to pay the premium. Yeah, that's definitely true. If they don't have it today, then they can call you next month. And they might be okay with it today, but next month they might not that
I
would be-
try to get it, I try to get it today because, you know, sometimes I say, well, you know, we can always look back in 6 months, but are you able to, even if it's a small deal, you know, because in solar, we have a term called, you know, be back, be broke, which is not as common here, but when you're sitting with them, you want to try to get the deal and not leave the house without anything. So even if it's like, you know, a $200 or $300 commission, I want to put something in place no matter what.
Right.
So I can always
Are
say
you
to
getting, are you getting a lot like, I want to think about it, or can I call you back tomorrow?
no, because I honestly just, I sit down with them, I'm confident. Um, yeah, sometimes I say, you know, sometimes people say, oh, I need to see you with, you know, my daughter needs to look at it. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. So what we'll do here is, you know, we'll get all your information and then we'll put the application in and then I'd be happy to sit down with your daughter, but in order to do this, we have to put all this information. You know, in a week, you might, probably not, but you might get diagnosed with something or, you know, something might happen. So, you know, I'm here now, you know, might as well just put something in place. You know, I'm pretty busy, so, you know, I'm here to help you and that's what I came here for.
Right. Yep.
In place, so you kind of just give me all the information and in the end, they're like, yeah, I think my daughter will like this. So,
Yeah, I feel like people, even when I was in the house with you, a couple people, they just instantly trust you like right away.
yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's because I've been with old people and I worked with companies that screwed customers over without me knowing it, and it does make me feel sick. So when I sell something, I want to benefit them, and I pretty much say that. I'm like, I don't want to break the bank. I just want to provide something that will benefit your life, and I don't want to cause you any stress. Because you know, I do, I with clients, I always think that there'll be a customer in the future as well. So I've had people call me back wanting to increase it. And then I do windows and doors as well. I kind of do everything. So I've had one client call me and get windows and doors for them. And
Right.
yeah, so it's just the way you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's your goals for the next month, I guess, or in the next year? Because I know I mean, from when we talked, I think you wanted to do at least like 20K. Are you trying to build the team? Are you just trying to hit personal numbers first? What's your goals here?
So I have a team with my other businesses. And this one, I don't know, it's a lot more difficult. You got to push them to take the test and stuff like that. Usually people, you know, from my other business follow me, so I'll probably have them, you know, get licensed and everything. But in the meantime, you know, I just want to focus on building a pipeline and then get into Medicare. I'm talking to Julie about it, and then yeah, kind of just, you know, in Arizona it's pretty hot right now. So once it cools down,
Yeah,
it'll
it's
be
brutal out there. It was 120 yesterday.
really
So
awful. My iPad outside for like 2 hours. My iPad was like about to explode because it's so hot.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like people don't realize sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, it's too hot. It's too cold." We're out there door knocking in 120-degree weather. We're also call. Well, I don't, but I know you call and set appointments as well. But if you're going to be out, you might as well hit a couple doors. You
Yeah.
know, and you might not get a sale right away, but then I think you have like your I think it was the first time you had 3 sales in one day, which that's pretty difficult to do. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's
Mhm.
nice when it does. And that definitely doesn't come without consistent activity. You know, it's just a buildup of everything. You know, what advice do you have for, you know, new agents or even agents that's currently here and they're not getting consistent results? Because I know even in the beginning you had like a slower start, but now you've been pretty much submitting anywhere from 4 to 6 applications every week for the last like 2 to 3 weeks. Like most of those numbers is really just from the last 2 weeks. What kind of advice would you give newer agents to be able to get to that point, or agents that kind of fell off a little bit?
Well, it kind of just needs structure. So one thing that Leo showed me was an app called Route for Me, which kind of you can put addresses in and it'll give you like a efficient route so you can knock doors so you're not driving all over the place and you get exhausted because everything's like, everything's pretty far in Arizona. So just having like a game plan, create it in the morning and then or the night before, and then it's lack of action is what I see people struggle with, just not going out, making excuses. It's not going to be fun in the beginning, but once you get a deal, to me, it's kind of like you get that seller's high. So want to keep going.
Yeah. Now, do you know these products like 100% or?
No, I wouldn't. Final Expense is pretty basic, but I'm not like selling. Like I sold my first IUL yesterday, and I was like, "What the hell, Leo? I'm not doing this." It was just like ridiculous.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I processed Medicare and stuff like that when I went at the nursing home, but with insurance, no, I'm not like a genius on it, but I know the basics, and that's all you really need to know because you don't want to overcomplicate it for people because then they get overwhelmed and then they want to do their research and stuff like that. So just make it basic.
Right. And you don't have every carrier out there either, right?
No, like right. Yeah, I pretty much use Ball Life, and I'm still waiting on a couple American Amicable, which they're fine, but yeah, it's pretty much what I use right now. So
yeah, reason I asked that is because this happens with a lot of newer agents. They kind of wait to have every single carrier. They wait to know every single product. They wait to have everything perfect, and obviously it doesn't go that way. And you just went out there. You didn't have all the carriers. Still waiting on some like AIG. It's a very important carrier to have. And don't know all the product. Pretty much all you know is, final expense and maybe a little bit of term, but you're not afraid to go out there and take action. And then also I noticed you're in the Slack group commenting on other agents' sales and their success. So people are showing you love back. How
yeah.
does that motivate you more when people are commenting on there? Then you're seeing other agents make sales as well?
Yeah, just having a community is beneficial because, this could be sometimes a lonely job, but having, a group where you can feed off of and, give advice and it's honestly, it's pretty nice. So, I've been in sales where just me and it gets lonely sometimes. So
Right.
having this Slack group is really beneficial. Having Leo, I know he's going to Brazil, but we'll stay in contact. He'll be back eventually. And then to answer your question on getting everything, I just think it comes down to excuses. People, I don't know if people that do insurance are new to sales. When you're new to something, they get stressed, which is, everyone gets stress and anxiety, especially when you're doing sales and talking to people, because people think the negative. So, when they call someone, they think they get the first call and they hang up and they're like, oh, this sucks. You just gotta keep doing it, and then eventually you'll get that person that
Right.
will up or answer the door. It's pretty much just a numbers game. You just gotta go out there and do it. That's pretty much it. And if you're, with people under me, I always say, if you have anything questions. Leo's pretty good at that. I say no question stupid, no matter what. And you know, when you go out there, sometimes you don't have all the resources, but you gotta, you know, do the best of what you have. And in the end, they don't know that you don't have all the careers. So you're
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
So-
I know you also called from the home too, the first couple times, and ran into some issues with submitting the application, and
Oh, yeah,
the signature wasn't working, and
it's something small with, I think everyone's experienced it where I think it was a Bald Life. I've had a couple issues with them. But I kind of call Leo, and then he's probably experienced it before, so he tells me what to do. You just got to refresh, and then he was able to work. And a couple times, I had to like take all the customer's info, and then do it on the phone or something with them later. But yeah, you just gotta do with what you have.
Yeah.
So and just stay confident. Don't look like you're panicking. They think you know your stuff, even if you don't. So if you look like you're unsure, they're gonna lose confidence. And just I say, technical difficulties of these insurance companies sometimes, they're great, but they don't have the best technology. And they're happy to wait, like call Leo really quick. Doesn't happen too often, but you just got to be confident with it.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure, and that definitely helps, because I didn't even do it when I was newer. I would leave the house. One time I left, and the guy only wanted to do debit card, and I'm like, no carriers accept that. And I had two carriers that would have taken him with a debit card at the time. I left the house. I busted my ass walking down the stairs, just snowing. um, I literally did not go back out in the field for 3 months after that. I was so mad, and I had the carrier that I could have wrote him up. So the whole time, so you calling, like, I think you wrote an extra like 5-6 policies in the last 4 weeks just from me, and I was able to help you with those minor things that sometimes people think they're bothering me, or bothering their upline, or they're too good to call and they don't need the help, or feel like they don't need the help. Um, is there anything else you'd like to add, or if anyone else here has questions for Anders?
Yeah, do you guys have any questions?
If you could give yourself some advice talking to a version of yourself who is a few years younger, what advice would you give them?
I'm pretty young. What's your routing account number? Yeah, that's a hard question to ask, when the routing account number. But advice, I I kind of just say sales, it's you learn as you go. It's not like you got to master it and then go out. Because if you do that, you're never going to go out. Because there's just a way to just master it before. The best way to learn out, learning from your mistakes, sitting down with people, and if you struggle in the beginning, you learn from that. So you just got to go out and do it. That's pretty much it. It's not hard at all. Just have a basic script and don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you've definitely done a great job with that, where I tell you what to do and you just go do it. You run the play. You don't go and question me like, why are you telling me to do this? Why are you telling me to do that? You just go and do it, and you trust me, you know what I mean, to go and do that, because I'm not gonna go tell you to go do something, or any agent, that I personally haven't done or wouldn't do myself. Uh, especially, like, we don't get paid here just to recruit people and put people on our team. We don't get recruiting bonuses. We don't get bonuses for you submitting crappy policies. We only get paid when you get paid and when the deal sticks on top of that. So you can stay in the business and be profitable, and have a successful business and not be stressed out and have a bunch of roll-up debt or chargebacks hit your account, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and Leo's been a big part of, my success. I've had sales experience in the past, but having someone that's experienced it is really nice to have. So, people have a whole group here. So don't be afraid to ask questions, no matter how stupid you think it is, but we've all been there. So
Yeah. Just don't ask me the same question 10 times.
yeah, usually you want to learn from one time.
Yeah. What was that?
You should learn from that first time you asked.
Yeah, write it down, take some notes. Can everyone put a AG on there for Anders? All right, let's go, guys. Now I'll go over, share my screen over here. You guys can see everything?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No?
Here one sec, I'll see if I can.
Starts with an S and ends with a hair screen.
Oh, there we go. What about now?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see that.
Oh man, hold on. My MacBook is at the Apple Store getting fixed. So, all right. So we got the Safe Haven Rock and Roll, the AEP checklist. We're doing Monday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time on EF dials. Anybody that is doing Medicare, wants to learn about doing Medicare or get some information on Medicare, I'll definitely be on that on every Monday. AP starts, I believe, like August 12th or 10th or something like that, and it goes on for 6-7 weeks. And that will definitely help, essentially with keeping you in a business and creating consistent income for you every month. You could probably do 100 enrollments during that AEP. And if you do 100 in January, you'll get a check for 30 grand. The following year, you'll get $2,500 every month. The persistency is really good with Medicare. So I'll definitely hop on there if that's something you're looking to do. And then for this week, we had 20 writers, 74 applications, 47 of it was life, 26 health, and then 2 annuities for 165,000 total. That's really good, guys. When I first joined Safe Haven, I think we were only doing like 1 or 2, maybe 3 enrollments a week. And now we're doing 26, 30. Sometimes I see 40 on there. So just, keep up the pace. I'm sure that those numbers will jump up as well. And then I'll go over the top 5 here. So we got Anders here at 7 applications for 5,000. Marcus McCall, 12 applications for 8,000. Jared Lindsay for 4 apps at 9,625. I think he's doing mortgage protection on a travel trip. David Hadley, 2 apps, 19,000, guys. That's someone's salary for 6 months right there on 2 applications. And then for our number 1, Brandy, 1 app, 94,000 AP. I'm pretty sure that was an annuity that Hadley helped them out with. Man, that's double someone's yearly salary in one deal. I'm sure that's going to be life changing. And if you guys aren't doing annuities at all, I will definitely get some information. You can reach out, to me, Hadley, or anybody on the team that's written them before, submitted them. They're definitely great to do. And especially if you're doing final expense or or Medicare, like those are the same clients, guys. Medicare, final expense, and annuities, it's the same client. You just got to ask them a couple extra questions. And if they trust you enough to help them with a life insurance policy, with the Medicare, they'll probably trust you with putting them in a better position to secure their future and their retirement. And then we got Marcus McCall. This is definitely not his first sale, but he's the VDP, the value driven professional of the week with 12 applications. We're not going so much more on who's written the most policies, because essentially anybody can go and have a big week or a big sale, but to go out there and submit 12 applications, you got to be very consistent. You're not going to do that in just one day or 2 days. He worked his butt off the whole week, was able to submit that. Now this is issue paid for the month, so we'll go with the top 10. Marcus D at 7,000, Michael G at 7,800. We got Beto over there. He's running mortgage protection, and I think he's doing Medicare as well for 9,100. Sage, I see he's been doing a lot of Medicare as well. 7 apps for 9,200. We got Anders on there for 9 apps, 9,400. Sheila as well. She's brand new to Safe Haven. She's been in the industry 30 years, 8 apps for 10,400. We got my man Jay over there. He's out there hustling, cold door knocking and running final expense, mortgage protection, 13 apps for 10,400. Andrew Seaberger, same thing. I talked to him the other day. He drove 2 hours out to go run appointments and door knock mortgage protection leads. 9 apps for 10,500. And Ezekiel for 13 apps, 22,000. And then Jacob here, J Jump for 3 apps, 30K. And if you guys look at this in the top 10, we have a mixture of people doing telesales. We have a mixture of people doing only in-homes, people doing hybrid, annuities, final expense, mortgage. So guys, it all works. You just got to get out there, put the activity in, and talk to people, get in front of people. And we got our finest 5 here with Sheila making it to number 5, and then Jay at number 4, Ezekiel at number 2, and then Jacob at J Jump at number 1. And we got our top 2, Medicare, Kareem and Bobby. And this is our schedule. If you guys want to screenshot this, this is for Heartland. So the one I was talking about earlier is ours. It's Safe Haven. So it'll be, I believe, engaged on those calls at 8 a.m. Heartland also hosts their own calls. It's bi-weekly, 11 a.m. Central. And then on Tuesdays, they have one going over life insurance at 12, and then Wednesdays going over annuities. And we can send over those links. I think you can get it on their website as well. And then if you guys want to screenshot or save their numbers, you got Todd and Rick. So they do annuities and I believe IULs as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you guys have any questions, or you have a client, or need help with illustrations, or just one-off questions, you can give them a call, shoot them a text. They'll hop on a Zoom with you to call you back and help you. I know Rick has helped me out a lot with writing my first annuity here with Safe Haven. I believe that's it, guys.
Leo, can you go back to that screen with all of the different, like the Medicare annuities and the times that they're at?
Yep.
Thank you.
I can post it in the Slack too.
Okay, thank you.